15 minutes later, you see 3 of them streaking in from the starboard side, from the left, and we pitch one on the left teaser, hook one on the left flat, and hook one on the right rigger, triple header of 100 to 120 pound little rats. But
and how did it start out? Like, what was the origin story?
Too much alcohol.
Really? Okay.
Says if God wanted us to have fiberglass boats, he would have given us fiberglass trees.
It's for fishermen. It's not for taking the wife and the wife's friends.
I think that it's a really, really pretty bit.
And then there was a blur that went by and ended up in the cockpit, as far as if I can remember correctly.
Welcome back, State of Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm Nick Carullo. Tonight, special guest, good friend, great fisherman, Art Sapp, captain of Native Son. Looking forward to this one. Thanks for joining us, Art.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, man, we've been trying to connect for a while. We finally got it to work out. And Art, tell us just a little bit about how you grew up and how you kind of got into it.
Well, South Florida boy from the get-go, born and raised down here, and actually 7th generation Florida. Been in this state for a good long while with the family. But my old man was a fisherman / hunter. I mean, he's just an outdoors kind of guy, and he introduced me young. Obviously, stories say I was sitting in a 5-gallon bucket on the boat with him. 20-foot Robalo was the first boat he ever bought, way back, and it didn't take long. Obviously, fishing's fun. He got addicted and couldn't get enough. And I tell you what, growing up, we did whatever. It was for fun, but it was also to help pay the bills a little bit here and there. So there was a commercial aspect to it that made it even more fun, because not only did you get to catch them and enjoy eating some of them, but you helped pay the bills a little bit. That carried on through high school, and they fished some tournaments. I say they, my dad and Billy Curtis, guy that now has sold the shop there, Carl's Bait and Tackle, to his son, but he grew up in Carl's Bait and Tackle. Carl Cole owned it when I was really young, and when my old man and Billy worked there. Well, they'd go to Fort Pierce and fish some of those dead bait tournaments. That's really where my family's all from, is up there in Vero Beach, and they were really successful, and I always got to ride along because I wasn't gonna let my old man go fishing without me. And for me, it was cool being there watching them do that stuff. And they were, back in the day, bait rigging artists. That's what they specialized in, for meat fishing, not for bill fishing. And I always look forward to getting back to the dock there in Fort Pierce and wearing a catfish out as a young kid. It didn't matter to me back then what we were catching, as long as we were fishing.
Yeah.
And that turned into the insanity that we live today. I
mean, I know you, like you said, 7 generations. I mean, that's kind of where the name Native Son comes from. Correct.
Yep. Yeah, it's been fun. What got interesting, my old man actually named his second boat was a Parker, a 25 Parker, that we traveled all over the place, all through the islands, and did a bunch of fun stuff in it. But he named that one Native Son in 1985. And, most folks go Native Son 1, 2, 3, or whatever, they name their boat, and they say, I didn't want to add to that. That was the name. That's it. It never changes, no matter what boat we're in.
Because you'd be on what, like 25 right now?
It's been a bunch. No doubt. That's for, I got that good relationship going with CV there, and that's really what allowed a lot of that to happen. We went from that 25, it was called a Sou'wester back then. I think it's the same company that builds Parker boats now, and single 200 Yamaha, and smart, dumb, whatever, I don't know. We went far further than we ever should have in a boat like that. That was the original Native Son, and back then, obviously I'm young, and he'd run it. The only time I'd ever get to run the thing was when we were netting mullet or whatever, and he needed to be up there throwing a cast net or putting a boat on the trailer. And I guess that's really, I got the school of hard knocks running boats as a young kid doing that, because holding that big heavy ass cast net, you're already a bit agitated, and getting barked at like that, you quickly learned how to operate that thing in wind and whatever else. So boat running skills that I might have, I would imagine, came from those hard knocks and getting barked at as a kid. Still loved it, despite getting yelled at.
And when did you guys, I know you guys were heavy, like with the meat stuff, and and then you had a conch back then, or what was that?
Yeah, we actually, a real good friend had an Ocean Master that was just sitting defunct. He wasn't doing anything with it, and all but gave it to us, and we just had to rebuild the thing and power it. And that was in 98, and sold that Sou'wester to dude Ray's Live Bait. Some folks down here might remember him. He's since passed, and we put the money into that Ocean Master, and we played with it for a couple of years, and it was a fun boat, but we just were really getting into those meat tournaments there. I swore I'd never do it, and just happened to move in. I bought a house in Pompano Beach right across the street from dude Jamie Bunn, who runs a lot of these tournaments down here, his parents' house. So what the hell, why don't you fish my tournaments or whatever? Not what I do, So he talks me into it, and we fished the first one in that Ocean Master, and I realized, damn, these boats are faster, carry more bait than I can. It makes it a little tricky to be as successful. That said, we did have success in one of the events there. I think we had a third the first year and a first the second year of doing it there in 2001. It was actually the ladies tournament, which adds an interesting aspect to it, and bringing the women out with you. It's fun. And I realized, we needed something a little faster and with a little bit better bait wells. So we were able to get into a conch then at 27. And the Ocean Master actually had a T-top in that little upper station, and which was nice, but my previous boats never did have any kind of a top at all.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember you ever having a T-top.
Yeah. Well, we would bump into that thing. We'd fish those long gaffs and flying the multiple kites and all that stuff. The top would always get in the way on that Ocean Master. So hell with it. We'll be faster without a top, and it'll never be in the way. So we built that 27 without a top. I loved it. I mean, that boat really fished well, and for what we were doing with the meat tournaments, and we weren't the first guys to fly 3 and 4 kites, but we did it a lot and kind of got a reputation for it, for putting a bigger spread together. And at the time, we were quite successful. We had some real good fortune there. So that really is what allowed me to make the moves, I think, was the success we had in that conch, and then in our first CV, which was also topless, a 32 in those meat fish tournaments. And from that, Mercury and CV and a few of the companies would finance an entry into a sailfish tournament. And back then, even then, they were expensive enough that a working guy isn't going to be floating that kind of money at it. And we were able to with the meat tournaments because they were quite a bit less expensive and we were profitable with. And I knew we could catch some sails, but I didn't, see these big sport fish boats and everything. I was honestly intimidated at first. I don't know if we can do it at that level.
Do you remember the first, I guess, transition tournament to a sailfish tournament? Like what year that was?
So it would have been those events that CV and Mercury sponsored down there, Tony Abello's tournaments down in Miami, the Sailfish Kickoff and the Mayor's Cup. There you go. And ever since day one, the silly goal had always been, if we fish an event regularly, I got to win it at least once. Yeah. So now we'd gotten there with the meat tournaments. There hadn't been a meat tournament that we'd fished regularly that we hadn't at least won once. So here we go. We're going to start to branch into a whole bunch of new events, and now we got to figure out how to try to win these things. And we'd have some success. We'd take a piece of a daily or something. That's all we ever were able to do. We'd pay, we'd get the entry for fee, and we'd play the dailies or whatever. And it got to where, having the free entry, we were able to at least break even, if not make a little bit of money in a bunch of the events. So we kind of started to push it a little more, and then got some help there. I got to run that Timbuktu boat with Ariel and Robbie Buckley there, and started fishing a lot more of those sailfish tournaments while still just taking dailies and stuff. It took us a little while before we got to where we win a few of them there in the beginning. But I guess that would have been, it was the 32. It would have been 2007. I got my first 32. So it would have been somewhere thereafter. Yeah. Because I never did fish a sailfish tournament in the conch.
Was there anyone, like, when you first started sailfishing, that was kind of like maybe, I know you were already, like you said, winning meat tournaments, nonstop. You're, on fire. And then when you transitioned to sailfish stuff, was there anybody like that, I don't know, that maybe helped you at all, or you kind of just, brainstorm with a lot to help you get kind of just dialed in a little bit?
Guys were pretty secretive back then. They didn't, and maybe I didn't know them that well either, but I did know Tim Maddock real well, and we were doing well in the meat tournaments, and he told me multiple times, but he kept telling me, hey, you're loving this, and it's great, and you're doing great, and it's amazing, whatever, but the first time you fish and compete in a sailfish tournament down here, you're going to forget about the meat fishing stuff. You're going to be addicted. You're going to love that stuff. And he was right. He was 100% right. And that dude, of any people, he isn't going to share tactics as much with anybody. It's certainly one of the best that's done it through the years. But I would say that he influenced my desire to start being successful, because when I moved to Pompano, I wasn't a competitive guy in the fishing world at all. And in Lauderdale, totally different world. You didn't talk about what you caught. Yeah. If social media existed back then, you'd think the guys fishing out of Lauderdale never caught anything, because I guarantee you back then they're not sharing. Nothing was ever shared. That was the world I lived in. And then I moved up to Pompano, and these guys, they're talking what they caught, not so much how they did it or whatever. And it's, it's more of a community here, or was back then, than in Lauderdale. So it was a kind of a new aspect. And I saw what he and his brother Cliff were doing in tournaments. And that's interesting. And saw how they would do both the meat and fish tournaments and the sailfish tournaments, and thought that was also interesting. So I think I I think those guys probably sparked my interest as much as anything. I fished with Cliff once, and I sword fished with Tim a couple of times back then, but never anything else. So I don't know that it really took any of my tactics or methods from them. I think it's fishing, treated all the same.
Did you do a bunch of sword fishing too, or just a little bit?
So my old man and them, back when I was a real little kid, that was their thing. They did a lot of that and the dead bait stuff in the summers. And it kind of went away for a little bit when I was middle school, high school age, and early in college. And shortly after I got back, it kind of started to heat back up. So I did quite a bit of rod and reel nighttime stuff then. And then I real tight with the Lingard and Pittman family over there, and put one of their permits on a commercial boat, and I started doing the commercial thing at night for a while, buoy fishing thing, the hand gear thing. And that was also early on in the daytime thing, and it was my original 32. So we started doing that in 2008 or so, early on. And Bobby and a couple of the guys around here is John Anderson, early on it here out of Lauderdale, out of Florida, South Florida here. And I went with John Anderson once and started creating my own method, and really had quite a bit of success early doing that. So it was fun. I'm not as interested in it anymore. Sitting there staring at that rod tip gets old.
Yeah, it's a phase for a while. It's fun for a little bit.
Yeah. What's crazy though is I could go do that blue marlin. I could troll around all day long and hunt and be happy.
That doesn't get old.
No, not at all. It's weird. And you might still be hunting 1 or 2 bites all day long with the blue marlin thing. Still, 1 or 2 blue marlin bites. That's the thing. There's always something to play with.
Yeah,
something to hunt.
Maybe a little more technical.
For sure. Yeah, it's guerrilla fishing with those big electrics. And now there are guys that do it better than the others. So obviously there's more to it than what meets the eye, for sure, as there is with all fishing, right?
Absolutely.
The saying is whatever 10% of the fishermen catch 90% of the fish or something. That seems to be the case in every fishery.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Yeah. Probably our sailfish tournaments. I mean, not everybody, but it changes. Yeah.
It does. That's a good thing. It's with the tournaments. I mean, there's the core group that are generally in the hunt.
Yeah.
And then you get those, somebody makes some real good decisions, and that's how you learn with that stuff. If you want to beat the guys that are consistent, then you better start playing, because sitting at the dock, you're never going to learn it.
No.
And I think a lot of the stuff that I do, I saw people making moves and doing things, and, not having spoken to them, kind of try to figure out what it is that they were doing. And then my knowledge of what a fish might do, kind of put those thoughts together. So where I've gotten is strictly from being there and doing it. There's no class that I went to or YouTube video or something that I watched. It's just a matter of going and doing it and making it happen.
Sometimes I think I get a little jump on them, I figure them out, and then they humble you really quick.
What's the worst part of it too is, and it happens a lot to me, is like day one of a tournament or whatever. I got this one they're doing, and I know what they're doing. And then the very next day, I never even see a fish. Can't get a fish in the spread.
It's just totally different. Nothing works.
Yep. Light switch flicked, and even what's weird is on a few of them the condition didn't change that much, but something changed.
That's crazy.
Yep. But that's also what makes it exciting, right?
Absolutely. I mean, so you pretty much won now. I think every tournament, right? I think you won the JJ.
I've stopped keeping track as much because it started to feel a little bit obnoxious. But I can't think of Operation Sailfish. I hadn't won Operation Sailfish. I've got a couple second places in it and a third place, but I've never won Operation. I know that one for sure. And there's still quite a few. I've never even fished the Buccaneer Cup as much as I like the thought and want to. I love that area that time of year. But it's so many events stacked up in a row. It gets tough. Yeah,
it's crazy. January is a crazy month.
Yeah, it is. It's usually a great month until these last few years. And that's a tricky thing about the way we do it. Many of these operations are an owner, and he's got his crew, and, much of the crew is paid, and some of his buddies that are there and whatever. And I've always done it quite different. Now, with this current boat, I own it outright entirely. The last 2 boats I was partners in, but it's just a group of friends, and 5 of them are more financially successful than the rest and can finance the entry and the Calcuttas and all that stuff, and the operating costs of it all. And then me and my mate Jimmy, and sometimes Chris take care of the bait fishing and the tackle and all that end of it. And it's just a group of guys that none of them are real professional fishermen outside of Jimmy, who charter fishes with me every day. And it'd be nice to be able to get the guys out and get a few more reps, because when you really get in the thick of it, there's some things that you got to talk through that with guys that fish every day probably wouldn't have that issue. But they're all good anglers, and it's been successful. So, and it's always fun. It's the greatest part about it is when we're not on the boat, we're all buddies.
Yeah.
So, and spending considerable time around each other when the kids and family allow.
I mean, you guys, you fish with everybody on that boat for quite some time, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Yep. We're with some guys come and go through the years, but there's 4 of them that have been there now for 6 years. And that obviously helps a bunch, as you well know.
Oh yeah.
Which changing a bit for you though, I guess, huh?
Yeah, a little bit this coming up year. It's definitely going to change a little bit.
Yeah. That'll get tricky. Re-educating, or you feel like you got some guys that know the program?
I mean, I got a couple of the same guys, and then grab a couple. I'm sure a couple new guys and stuff. So it'll be a little bit of a learning process again, but we'll figure it out. How would you say? I know like a lot of guys have asked, like, how would you say the advantage is to being able to fish with the same group of guys for a long period of time?
I think it's a huge part of success when guys are doing things without having to be asked to, and they know where each other's going to be in different situations. And it's what's interesting is typically you got a guy that's strictly the camera guy and whatever, maybe 1 or 2 guys that are generally your leader guys or whatever. And I'm fortunate to have a few guys that are 6+ foot tall and can do the leader thing well, and a couple of guys that are fine with the camera and aren't worried, and they're all good anglers. Chris, my youngest guy, who does most of the camera work, well, when we first stop, he hooks bait and fires it immediately while everything else is getting organized, and that bait comes in as the 7th traditional bait goes out.
Yeah.
And inevitably he'll get bit. That first bait after you're coming off the plane is frequently one that does good for you. So somebody else has got to jump on the camera, and it's worked well. So I think a big part of that fluidity is because we worked together for so long. And I am a firm believer, especially in my scenario where they're all adults. These are all 45-plus-year-old guys for the most part. There will be no yelling. We're not yelling at each other. Maybe excited talk. Nobody's yelling at each other. We don't need that kind of attitude. And when you got a group of guys that work together as long as we have, that generally doesn't happen. You almost never hear never yelling and aggravation. But it's just, those kind of difficulties don't generally occur.
I think a lot of people take the South Florida yelling as like derogatory, which it's not in any way. I think it's just more excited, and I think just the competition is so high that I mean, when you're playing a football game, the guys aren't just whispering to each other,
Yeah, and that's the thing too, all the old athletes or whatever, several of the guys are even college ball players on my boat, and you don't get that camaraderie. There's a few places, I guess, and I don't have the military experience. Kind of, unfortunately, it's my one regret in life is not having done that. But the camaraderie you got as a kid on the athletics field, especially in combat or sports like football or whatever, you don't get that anywhere else. But you do on this boat, and it's been that way since the beginning. When it was a great way to spend my dad's mid to later years there was on that boat in those tournaments and had some phenomenal times. And then 2 guys I grew up with were on the boat much of the time. And then, the friends, that camaraderie that you build on the boat is hard to beat. And especially in those intense competitive situations like that, it's just where you're relying on each other to be successful. It certainly is a great aspect to the game that we're playing.
Absolutely. I mean, I played football my whole life, so I think a lot of that comes out in me. And then, Doug McCavich that fishes with me, he played World Series baseball, and if we're not all excited yelling, he knows that we're not doing well. So the more of that type of excited yelling is going on, the better. Yeah, it's a good thing, Some guys are like, "Oh, you guys are crazy,"
Well, there's so much going on in our fishery, in our style of fishing. I just did a TV show with Carter Andrews a couple weeks ago, and coming off of it, that's one of the things he said. He said, there's nothing casual about this method of fishing. Dude, we're going that hard, because you got to take account for the camera crew and all that stuff. We were just doing what you normally do. And on a couple of occasions we'd get multiples in the spread, and it's intense, He said, this is not for the casual fisherman in any way. So that requires some yelling. Because, a quad in a trolling tournament, generally, that's the only 4 lines you had in the water anyway. So there's, once the teasers are cleared, what are you worried about? Just don't cross them up. Don't burn them off. Whereas with what we're doing, there's a shit pile of stuff still in the water to deal with.
Exactly.
Post quad getting tight.
Yeah.
But there's going to be some loud and excited talk going on through that.
I think the day if a quad pops up and I'm not yelling, then that means I'm probably not into fishing anymore.
Bro, the day a single pops up and you're not instant intensity yelling and excited, then I don't care how many times I see any of it.
It doesn't.
Tuna airs out back there, whatever. I'm on it. This is good.
It doesn't get old.
No doubt. That's the other thing. You just never know what you're going to get to see. 2 days ago, South Florida, you're not supposed to see that many yellowfin tunas or blue marlin or whatever. Blue marlin and yellowfin tuna the same day.
Yeah.
A bunch of sails and kings and tunas, and it's all so exciting. I love it.
Yeah.
That's the thing I tell my charter guys all the time. The customers, they're on the boat. Get back to dock. If they don't say it, I'll whatever. Thank you. I said, don't worry about it. I probably enjoyed the stay more than y'all did, or frequently they'll get back to dock. I'm paying you, but I'm not sure. But you had more fun than we did. Yeah. That's a regular statement. Well, you're probably right. I live for this stuff. This is what I do.
How's the charters right now?
Steady. We haven't gotten back to where we were pre-COVID yet, really. But a lot of our business came from traveling business. Guys from out of state, and we're kind of on the expensive end of it all. So it was a lot of work conferences and stuff. Guys would have a conference in Vegas. They jump on a plane, fly to South Florida, fish with us for a day or two, and then jump on a plane and go to Vegas for the conference. They said, well, I'm getting on an airplane anyway. I might as well make a pit stop in between and have some fun. And a lot of that work hasn't come back yet. Some of it, but not a ton, really. And hopeful that despite the insanity that the world's under right now, hopefully we'll come back here in the near future. Yeah. But we're doing okay. We're doing fine. As long as we keep doing well in tournaments too, that's none of that matters as much.
What else are you doing for marketing for charters and stuff? Yeah, website? Nothing?
I think I've got a website. I hadn't seen it in probably 10 or so years. I should do something with that, but I am terrible on my social media stuff. I should do better there as well. But word of mouth, and we've got a great group of guys that come pretty regularly with us. And
nice.
And just finding the time, dude. To be honest with you, I could be far more successful charter fisherman if I didn't tournament fish.
Yeah.
Between the bait fishing and making sure everything is right come tournament day. I mean, that's a day plus of just on the tackle end of it, right? To get organized. And plus you want to be spending a little time out there hunting around, and in the bait end of it, that's never ending year round.
I mean, how often are you catching bait for just charters?
If it's calm and we're not booked, we're going.
And what,
if it's reasonable, I shouldn't say calm. If it's reasonable and we're not booked, we're going, which is a ton.
Well, how often do you not, like, you run out of bait on a bunch of charters and you have to buy bait?
I bought 10 dozen goggle eyes for the second time this year. So I generally cover it myself.
Got it.
It gets tight at times, but you couldn't afford to, dude. Even at what I charge, you couldn't afford to buy bait and make a living charter fishing. Bait's expensive now. I think they're $100+ a dozen up here on the goggle eyes right now. And shoot, you're going to go through 4 dozen at a minimum this time of year with all the different critters to play with, not to mention your herring and pilchards and everything else you're burning. We go 6+ dozen baits a day this time of year, and generally come back to dock with scraps.
Wow.
There's just so much to play with. And then helium and all that other but it's worth it. It's fun.
It's worth it.
I constantly, I don't know if I'm making any money or not. It's worth it. I don't care. I'm having fun, man. It's living a good life, right?
That's it.
Yeah, as long as the mortgage gets paid, get to go fishing some more.
That's it. When you gonna do any charters? I know was it last year or the year before you did a couple charters the Bahamas during the summer and you did some trolling and stuff?
Yeah. We actually one of the guys that fished the tournaments with us. What's that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the guys that fished the tournaments with us there, Jim Steele, he bought an old 47 Viking, like older family cruiseabout boat. And we just got back from Walker's. We spent 5 days on it over there playing around and had 5 blue marlin bites, and actually one was a triple and shorthanded. We totally messed that up and fought a big one on a dink rod for an hour and a half and got him to within literally one crank, and the bimini was on the rod tip, and the damn thing chafed us off, was sitting there sloshing. And we caught one smaller fish, 200-pounder or so, in a pile of mahis, and missed a sail and a white.
Wow, some pretty good fishing.
It was good fishing. It was real good fishing. It was crazy. It was primarily one of the days, and everything else was pretty slow. We bottom fishing, caught a bunch of snappers and groupers and stuff. It was fun fishing. But the pelagic end of it was, I guess there was a pretty good break off to the north quite a ways. And again, the boat's got some age on her. She ain't real fast, so I didn't bother running all the way up there. We just fished the edge the whole time. I had a great time though. And we have a trip booked. We didn't get any real spring, like guys wanting to go blue marlin fishing this year in the little boat like we did the last couple of years. But we do have a tuna trip booked in June. And again, with the COVID mess that's still going on over there and all the hurdles you got to jump through, we people just aren't willing to take the risk of getting denied or something and spending all that money getting there. Fuel prices where they are and everything else. They just soon fish here.
What was that
My
day?
customers.
What was that day that was like 2 years ago? You took the center console over there and you had like a quad or something?
Triple and a double. We went 5 for 5 and
triple and
had
a double.
Had a sixth one in the spread. We actually weren't in the Bahamas on that. We were right on the edge because it was right in the beginning of COVID there. It was at March 2020, right at the end of March.
Yeah.
And we were shut down. Actually, Broward County had shut us down at that point. We weren't allowed to charter fish. So the tournament guys and their boys, their young sons, jumped on the boat. My mate Jimmy, his son caught his first blue one that day, and Jim Steele, his son Parker, caught his first blue one. And that was the second doubleheader. We hooked it was crazy. We put the spread in the water and started trolling, and a fish shows up on the right right teaser, blacked out, and wasn't, just kind of paddled in and was following it for maybe 10 seconds and faded off and loop around in there and doesn't show back. I'm like, oh God, was that the one shot we're going to get? 15 minutes later, you see 3 of them streaking in from the starboard side, from the left, and we pitch one on the left teaser, hook one on the left flat, and hook one on the right rigger, triple header of 100 to 120 pound little rats. Wow. But that was exciting as hell. It was a real good time. Yep. And did that, and so dumb. We caught blue marlin. Let's go mahi fishing. We run around a little bit and don't see anything. Go right back in there where we had that triple header, put spread back out. And when I'm trolling on that quad boat, which we had before, typically I'll shut down the outside motors and trim them up. Well, the spread goes out. I'm letting the outside motors cool off because we were just running real hard. And I hadn't even, maybe 30 seconds, and I'm not even looking back there yet. And somebody, what is that? And a 300 pounders on the right teaser before maybe 30 seconds we got the gear in the water. We pitched that fish, and we'd actually rigged, when we were running around there, we'd seen some tunas under birds. Didn't have any live bait on the boat at all. So my buddy Jason, been doing that trolling shit forever on the Uno Mas and a few different boats. He split bills a ballyhoo with this little tiny, what we use for tuna fishing over here, 4.0 owner hook on 30-pound carbon. And he rigs that thing for those tunas. Yeah. Doesn't get bit, whatever. So it's sitting there. It's still on the BFC that he tries to do that with, and we stopped, and he just fires that thing as a shotgun bait right away. That second 200-pound blue marlin piles on that thing with a J hook, mind you, and 30-pound carbon, goes jumping all over the ocean. I'd given up on it. We're not catching that one. I don't care. Let the kid catch this one on the 50 pitch. Fought the thing for an hour and a half probably, and that other one's still out there jumping around on that 30-pound carbon. Never chafes off, never parts off. We drive over to it and end up catching it after we catch that first one.
Wow.
How does that happen? And I'm over here chafing fish off with 60, 80, 100 pound on circle hooks where, oh, well, I can't make sense of that.
That's your day. It's your day.
It was. It absolutely was. And then we're so stupid again. All right, well, we caught 2 more. Let's go. Going home.
Wow.
We should have stayed again.
That's a sick day.
Yeah, it was a hell of a day for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
COVID had some benefits, I guess.
Yeah.
You have to do some cool stuff like that.
Damn.
For sure.
What's
next on your agenda, dude? Talk to me about you. What are you doing?
Trying to get this Weaver boat done, dude. We've been in the yard since like September. Full refit, Seakeeper, sonar, interior engine work, and COVID doesn't help. Waited on engine parts, but we're finally making some good progress right now. Yeah, and ready to go.
Talk to me about that sonar, dude. How big an advantage is that thing, you think?
Oh, you can't fish without it.
Yeah, it's hard to compete, isn't it? Without it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that, it doesn't seem to make any difference in our fishery here, our sailfish fishery.
I mean, not yet, for sure.
You think it might one day?
I think it's either, someone's going to get that one dialed in, or there's going to be a new software or a newer sonar that's going to be, I think maybe more dialed into shallower water and, the whole kind of just sailfish, shallow water.
I don't look forward to that day. I like the hunt. I like being successful for doing it a little bit better maybe, or whatever the reason is that you're more successful than the other guys when it's working for you. I mean, obviously we got a bunch of support already, but I'm pretty sure I could still catch fish without a bottom machine or plotter or any of that stuff. I'm afraid of what might happen when that sonar does get dialed in on that shallow water.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
but at the same time, I like the idea of getting more bites, so I don't know.
I mean, dude, it's like a big boat now. I mean, I don't think you're built. You could build a big boat without putting a sonar in it.
I'm sure lose interest.
Now it's just like they can't even make those things fast enough.
Yep. It's wild.
It's crazy.
So wild. Is that one of the things you were waiting on the refit of that Weaver?
No, that was actually like the first thing. We got lucky. I'd kind of put in an order for it a while ago, and it kind of worked out perfectly for that.
Nice.
So yeah, we got that in. It was mostly just engine stuff, but now we're ready. Let's go.
Nice.
Chase some blues.
Nice. You ever heard of anybody leaving that thing down and taking off, jumping up on plane? And
I'm not gonna lie, I almost did it one time. Thankfully, I realized at the last second, but that would have been bad. But
yeah, I mean, what is it? It's just bend it over in there. What happens?
Yeah,
don't know.
Expensive mistake, I could tell you that.
Wow.
But no, I have heard I don't know who it was, but I did hear one story. Somebody did do that and it bent it, and they got to change the whole.
You got a 10 knotted in or less or whatever, I guess, from there.
Yeah.
Is there a sink hazard with it? I mean, is there a potential that you're taking on water and in trouble?
It's a good question. I guess it could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, well, if I'm forced to get one of those things, I hope they make them for small boat, because I still want to play in the small boats for a while.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Well, I'm sure whatever the new improved one that I would assume would be for, what we're doing, I'd say would be probably a smaller unit, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, technology, everything else is getting smaller as you go, it seems like. It'd be nice. So I'm real tight with Ray Marine there. Those guys have always taken great care of me, and Teledyne has bought them, a giant corporation, and the conversations I'm having with those guys is they're working on something exactly like you're talking about, a smaller unit designed for shallower water. And I'm a bit twisted on it. I don't know if I like the thought of them being successful with it or not, other than if I get the first one, I think I'll love it. But
yeah.
Once it's out there.
So that Ray Marine's making that?
Yes, that's my understanding. Yes.
Yeah. I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard Simrad's trying to make something as well.
I'm sure. I mean, look at the money that Furuna's breaking in, like you say, every sport fish boat's getting them put in them, if not, or getting built with them for sure. And it's 100G a checker. It'd be crazy not to try to
130
build
or something. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Inflation keeps on
crazy.
going up.
It's crazy.
No doubt. So you in Miami though, dude? It's springtime. You're supposed to be out traveling, banging them up somewhere.
I know. Soon, man. At least I've been fortunate enough to that whole Florida Cup thing. That kind of kept me pretty busy, which I was kind of thankful for, being down with that boat. I got to fish, fish a bunch with the Seraphin guys, the Priceless guys.
Nice.
And so, nice.
It's crazy though. It really hadn't happened here we had a couple good days in the tournament there in that final sale event. I expected in heaven the last few years, April and even into May here, been just spectacular, and it really hasn't happened. We got a condition right now that they should be chewing the bottom of the boat off, and fished yesterday, had a ton of fun, caught a bunch of fish, but only saw 8 sails, never saw one tail. And
what do you think of this, the Florida Cup thing?
It's hard for me. I love the concept. Absolutely love the concept. It's hard for me with the charter fishing thing. We fished a day yesterday with the charter on the boat, and it's tricky. It's really, really tricky.
Oh, you're signed up for it?
Yeah. We're fishing it.
Nice.
Yep. And we missed a couple opportunities. We should have scheduled days, but first year didn't know whether to do it or not, and missed on a few days that I'd like to have in there. But that, and if I'm booked with charters and it's a half day, and I know they're going to bite, which we had happen half a dozen times this year, or at least feel like they're going to bite. You never know. Then you're kind of screwed, because I'll take this group in and then try to turn around and get back out and lose an hour and a half or whatever of the day. And so I really like the concept. It's just very tricky for me in my position here with the charter deal. Oh, I think it'll stay on. I think it'll keep going. I hope. It's any more opportunities to fish, the better.
How many days have you fished so far for it?
3. And flubbed it on 2 of them, so I'm kind of in trouble here. We fished the first day of the final sale there and caught 13, and then the second day I failed miserably, only caught 5. But and then yesterday, like I said, with that charter, we caught 6 of 8. With a full crew, we'd have done a bit better, because it caught 3 out of a quad, and there was a couple other fish there at that time. I think we could have moved a little faster through them and probably jumped them again. And then late in the day there, at the end of the day, we had a pile of fish up, and we only hooked 2 of them and only caught 1 of those 2. That, again, we were kind of running short on time. It was like 3:50 when they were up, but I think we could have gotten a few spinning rods to them. We're actually just mowed down by blackfin, so we only had 3 baits in the water when they bit, or when they showed up. So, with the crew that could have gotten more bait to them, we would definitely had at least just another shot or 2 on them.
Yeah.
Again, you're not going to catch 20 fish yesterday. I just didn't see that many. Yeah. Yep. And then, Louis was up there hunting around too. He fished all the way from, I guess he ran all the way from the Diamonds, fished all the way up through the ledge in Jupiter, hunting condition. And
Oh, did he started at the Diamonds?
yeah, yep.
That guy's an animal.
Yeah, he doesn't, whatever it takes, get bites. But today, he's down there in Triumph somewhere, right?
I heard he was on like County Rex or something.
Oh, really? Okay. North of the light. That makes it, I got to fish tomorrow, but I don't charter. And it's hard to make a living. I'm going to burn 150 gallons running to.
Yeah. What's the typical charter drift?
I'll fish anywhere from Hall over to Boynton Inlet.
All right.
That's my range.
That's
I don't mind
good.
running a little bit. Yeah, I don't mind running a little bit. But again, no, that's not running from the Diamonds to Jupiter.
No, yeah, but nobody does that. He's the only person that does that. Yeah.
One guy does that.
One guy does that. I remember,
no doubt.
I think in the Sailfish Challenge this year, I called him. He was on his way to north. He ran all the way up to Jupiter Inlet, and then we were at Ocean Reef, and at 2:30, he was just pulling up next to us at Ocean Reef.
I've done some silly runs for sure.
It was a pre-fish day, but I mean,
oh shit!
I mean, he's an animal.
He's covering some ground. Yes, he is, no doubt. And the wealth of information that he's sucking in doing that got a little bit to do why he's so good at what he does.
Yeah, there's a reason why when you think he's out of it, he just snaps his finger and he's back at the top.
Skip's always saying, man, do not poke the bear. Do not poke Louis. You just never know. He's going to go from zero to hero. The blink of an eye. No doubt.
Hey, you do it too sometimes. Sometimes it's like, Louis, where's Art? And all of a sudden you look at the thing and it's like Native Son has 11, second place has 3. You're like, what the fuck?
Fun when that happens, isn't it? And I know I'm talking to somebody that's had it happen a few times.
That's nice.
Yep. Dude, I remember first time we started bouncing off each other was when I was running that Timbuktu boat and you were running that high
standards.
High standards. There you go. Yep. And same deal. I'm sitting there second place in one of them. It may have been Louis that was smoking the whole fucking thing or something. They say high standards caught 5. You catch a 5 banger or something and lapped us. What? That was early on in my education with the sailfish stuff too.
Oh man, that's
a long time ago, dude.
Long time ago. Yeah. That's like when fishing in December was like awesome. Now
awesome. Yeah.
Now
it's amazing how much it's changed.
That's crazy. What do you think? It's just not getting cold.
Cycles. No, it's cycles, dude. It's just cycles. There's no doubt in my mind. You will see it again down the road that November, December. Actually, what's weird is October, November's been really, really good.
Yeah.
These last 5 or 6 years. But then December starts to taper a little bit, and January's been brutal when typically January's phenomenal. February, pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But it starts to heat up a little bit towards the end. The crazy that year before last, the difference between the challenge where fishing, I felt it was okay, and we caught 13 to win it. We catch 22 in 2 weeks later, like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, whatever, for the Jimmy Johnson for second place, and had a pile more bites. So March, it seems like now is when it really starts to pick up a little bit. Then we got the Jimmy Johnson this year with an epic condition, and you struggle for 8 bites for the whole damned event.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Which is so weird because 3 days before they were biting a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's cycles, and I gotta believe these sharks are having a major effect on it. Yeah. I don't see free jumpers like we used to. And something I've absolutely witnessed is when a king mackerel comes to your spread, they're prone to air out and miss on your live baits in the kite. From the tower, I can see it. Fish will air out on a bait, just go to loop back as they always do, and there's a shark on them already, and if they burn off, they're gone. So sailfish jumps a couple of times and looks over, and there's 3 sandbars and a bull shark chasing them around. He's not gonna jump anymore.
Yeah.
So, and I think that they're that much more on edge, a risk of getting eaten.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Their patterns have changed drastically. Seeing tailors and stuff in 20 and 30 feet of water more and more.
Yeah.
That I don't ever remember seeing as a kid, or even in the last. You see them in there swimming, sometimes you cobia fishing or whatever, but actually physically in there traveling and tailing and getting it done in there. I think their patterns are changing a lot, and I think it's got a lot to do with how many sharks we got out here now.
Yeah, they're getting worse, man.
Yeah.
I mean, do you see them doing any sort of commercial fishing for them?
Not since they put that they just or Senate just passed, I guess, a year ago now, no domestic shark fin sales. So that's where 80% of the money of the commercial shark fishery came from, was in shark fins. So they don't have that option. Then there's not a lot of money in shark meat, and there's a lot of work, and there's a bit of a risk when you're commercially fishing sharks that guys just aren't willing to take if they're not going to make any money doing it.
Yeah.
So they find other ways to make a living, if not get out of the fishing business altogether, which is really unfortunate.
Well, I'm sure we could get a group of sail fishermen to do a shark tournament one day a year or something. Here's
the problem. Yes, the bull, especially with sail fishing, the bull sharks are the problem, and you can kill one of those a day. Every boat can kill one a day, which I'm sure would piss off the shark huggers, but it's got to be done.
Yeah.
And I don't even care anymore. The amount of fish we've lost to them and the heartbreak of all my customers.
Yeah.
But the sandbar sharks are a major issue as well, and they're federally protected, as are the Duskies.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're talking 70 years before they're even going to look at them.
Wow.
At doing any management changes on them. So
that doesn't do us any good.
No, we're dead and gone. And that was Pat Price, who is unfortunately dead and gone. Dear friend and a phenomenal guy who was really heading up a lot of this work on these things. When he got that information, he said, son of a bitch, I think the lady just told me that because she knows we're all going to be dead and gone, and it won't matter to us anymore, with the sandbar situation. So it's a bad thing. And I don't see, I'm not a negative guy, but I don't see anything positive with the shark situation anytime real soon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
as much as
we always saw the sharks really bad off Palm Beach, for years, but now in Miami, it's bad. And now off Miami, you're actually losing sailfish to sharks, which that's not good.
Unheard of. No, it's just going to get worse too. And my understanding, it's from Texas all the way up, really through North Carolina. They deal with Duskies and sandbars up there real bad in their tuna fishery, really, really bad. And it will expand. It'll end up in their Billfish fishery as well here in the near future, I'm sure. They had a blue marlin or something bit last year, I think, in one of those events, which is going to happen from time to time anyway. But it's going to get worse. And the sharks eventually got to spread out. You can only fit so many in an area, and there's next to no U.S. commercial shark fishery. It's just going to get worse and worse until something happens along those lines. And hopefully it doesn't turn into a human shark situation. That's what a lot of the guys are saying. Nothing changes until it does turn into that.
Yeah.
Well, with that said,
those divers, those divers are going to witness it firsthand.
Yep. No doubt. And there was that kid got bit in Ocean Reef this year, lobster fishing, which you hadn't heard that in forever.
Yeah.
It is happening more and more, but unfortunately, nature of the beast. Changed my tune on it entirely. I put giant fish tanks in zoos and put your sharks and your wolves and your bears and the things that want to eat us, put them in there, and with the rest of them. I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not here to protect them anymore. I used to think, balanced ecosystem, whatever. Well, if you're going to manage fisheries and you're going to take from fisheries, traditional meat fish fisheries and whatever all else, you got to manage sharks too. And you got to manage wolves and bears and everybody else, or you're going to get an overpopulation situation. Truth be told, especially in the hunting situation, if I'm a deer or an elk, I would much rather take a bullet than get chased down by a bear or a wolf or something and get eaten alive or killed by one of those. So whatever. Take them out. We got to start managing.
We got to do something.
Yep, for sure.
That's crazy.
For sure.
Wow.
No doubt.
I know you ran the Island Rover last year for all a couple of Skips tournaments.
Yeah. Dude, how fun are those events?
Dude,
everybody jammed up in a marina like that.
Oh, it's just
talk about camaraderie.
Yeah, that was
fun.
Yeah, those are great tournaments. Skip, Maddie, they do a great job. I'm pretty depressed I'm not there right now, but
you and me both, dude. It sounds like they've had great fishing too.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about your experience last year.
It was, that was the thing. We didn't have a sonar on that boat. And the first event there, I can't remember, it was a custom production. The custom was first, whichever one. I went over there, made a few mistakes, went lighter than I should have with the gear. But again, it's kind of where I am. That's what I like to do. Go push the envelope as far as you can to get bites, because you can't lose a fish you don't get a bite out of, right?
Yeah.
So in that first event, we had 3+ blue marlin up in the spread every day. It was amazing. I was shocked. It was great fishing, and mostly my fault, screwed most of them up and caught some sails and some whites or whatever. It was fun. It was a ton of fun. And like I said, the events themselves were great. Learning experience. And then we fished that Hopetown event and caught a blue one in that one and pulled a stupid circle hook on one.
Oh, you guys won a daily in that one?
A piece. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't win the day, but took a piece of it. And again, had a couple other bites. We had a outrigger malfunction that parted a fish off in the clip. Somehow got wedged.
That.
I don't.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, if it could happen, it did last year. But such a fun boat and such a cool fishery. It really, really enjoyed it. But I don't. He's not fishing those events this year. The boat's there in Hopetown though, and I think they're over there playing around. Steve's over there playing. Haven't heard too much about what all they're doing fishing wise, but they didn't fish the events this year or anything. But I'd like to be back. I'd like to go back and do it. But I'd like to go back and do it with a sonar, because on that third event, when the fishing wasn't nearly as good, we caught some sails and never had a blue marlin in the spread that I know of. And it seemed like the guys with the sonars were the only guys getting bit at the time. So it became a little bit frustrating, because doing all the shit that we were doing the month prior and getting bit on almost every trip and never even getting a fish in the spread was tough. I think that one was post moon and fish just weren't up and doing much. And the guys I was talking to that did get bit said they'd sit on top of one, troll around on top of one for hours before it would show up.
Yeah, you could.
Was that the case for you at all? Or?
I mean, I wouldn't say hours, but there was times when, I could follow a fish for, 15, maybe 20 minutes and then finally get a bite out of it after you fucking piss them off long enough,
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? I'd like to do that. I've never experienced that.
Or at least, where you would, follow one for a while and then you would raise them, there's just, those couple of them that shouldn't eat, but at least it'd be cool to raise one. They're like, all right, well, at least
we got a shot. We're doing it right.
Yeah. We're doing it right. Yeah.
Yeah. That was tough. We, what was interesting though, is I got frustrated on the third day of that last event and took off to the south down there, south of Little Harbor, and found I'm sure the whole world knows about it, but there was a little point off the mainland there of southern end of Abaco, and the yellowfins, and there was stuff all over the place, and we caught a sail or two there. But I'd like to go back and put some more time in there. I think you could kite fish that little point, because it sticks out quite a good ways, and it's sheer, drops to 1,000+ foot, and I think you could really light some stuff up down there, because it's such a small area.
Yeah.
So much smaller than that big piece of bottom that we're all fishing around there at Elbow Key.
Yeah. I'm sure you'd catch definitely a handful of sails, and I'm sure a few whites.
Yep.
Maybe see a blue.
Dude, back in the Wahoo fishing days, back when I used to fish those tournaments, we catch blue marlin every year, pulling those high speed lures, and never get outside of 400 foot of water.
Wow.
So they're in there. There's you got to battle the kudas and everything else, but I think you could have some fun doing that sort of thing, and in an area like that would be more productive, I think, than many of the other areas, because it is so vast.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of those boats last year in Skip's tournaments, I think a lot of those boats that did really well were fishing like way, way in tight there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we fish. I think you probably fish, we fish further offshore, but I know a lot of the Speedy and those other guys were fishing, on the rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. I fished in there some. It was crazy. In that Hopetown tournament, we caught the blue one offshore, and I knew a sail was going to do it. I'm on my way in there to try to catch a sail fishing there on the rocks, and we hook a blue one in there, and that was one that the rigger clip failed on and got all wrapped up and parted off. And we actually did have a couple sail bites there too, but at that point I'd gotten frustrated and gotten much heavier, and maybe that's why we missed them, maybe not, I don't know. but we did have a blue marlin bite in there. I didn't spend a lot of time in there though, because you get eaten up by kudas and stuff so bad.
Yeah.
It can be frustrating, wondering if you're missing opportunities because all your stuff's chopped up.
Yeah, that could be bad.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's the little bit of time I spent in the Mid-Atlantic. That's just frequently, if you got bit, it was a white one up there. It was insane. If you were in white marlin, that's what you got bit on. We caught some mahis and some tunas, but shit in the islands, you had no idea.
Yeah.
Wahoos and everything else eating you alive.
Yeah, mahis are brutal.
Oh God, which is crazy, dude. My whole life you love catching mahis, and you get over there, you're cursing at the damn things.
Yeah, they're 20-pounders all just eating your whole spread,
shredding everything. Yep. Yep. That was the craziest thing though. On that first day of whatever the first event of Skip's was over there, we hook a barracuda on the right flat. I put a bit of a turn to the left and pull that teaser down. Well, my left bridge teaser's just soaking out there, mackerel behind an express, and finally get the thing up pretty close to the boat. And dude, a 400 plus, maybe 500, I don't know, goes full airborne it's just soaked, it's like somehow floating there. Just like it goes full airborne, looks like a kingfish airing out on a kite bait or something. I swear, I think I could have just left it clutched out, because he aired out, kind of came tight and ripped it out of his mouth. And he was swimming around there. I clutched in and started trying to come ahead to and he chased the boat and went away real fast. I think I could have just sat there. We could have just thrown the mackerel over and let it sink down. I think he'd eat it right under the boat. He already was eating a dead one laying there.
Yeah.
but again, not a ton of experience.
You're lucky you
doing
didn't
it.
snap the rigger off.
Well, maybe it had something to do with the fact that 2 days later we did snap the rigger, the back bar on the damn thing. Yeah, no doubt. It was a hell of a thing to see though, and that was at like 11:30 or so, and from there it was shit was hitting the fan left and right. We did catch a white one in a sail or something that day, but missed 2 other blue ones. Again, one of them was my fault entirely. Most of them went too light and ended up chafing the fish off. But what are you going to do? We live and we learn, don't we?
That's it.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
Hopefully do a little better on the next go round with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, I hope you get a shot to get back over there soon.
Well, hopefully maybe next year. We'll see.
Well, they got this is the first year, I'm sure, but Skip's doing that center console tournament now too. That's a cool little.
I love the idea.
change.
The only thing that scares me is the fuel prices where they are right now.
Yeah.
It's not the same bankroll that owns a $500,000 center console that owns a $7 million sportfish boat. Yeah. I'm very, very hopeful to get over there and do it. But again, my guys got to finance it, and they're at an age where their kids are playing sports all over the place, and it's tough to get them to get away for that long.
For sure. But
I'm still pecking at them, trying to get them to do it.
Yeah.
Very hopeful. Have you got an idea? You going to be able to put a boat together for that thing, you think? Or
we spoke about doing it on a front runner this year, and I just don't know if we have like a boat kind of ready to go do it right now. At least kind of do it properly. But I mean,
and stick a couple 50s up in the tower and pull some teasers, dredge booms. It's easy. Get it done.
Yeah, no, I know. I want to.
It's fun.
I mean, if not this year, for sure next year, I want to definitely. It would have been easier if I was already over there on the big boat and then just bring a center console over there, just dump all the other gear on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the tough thing too is one of my main guys that really loves doing it's fishing that Walker's tournament. It's the same weekend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So that's gonna.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of want to be fishing that too. So.
Yeah, no doubt. It's fishing out of Walker's is cool. Skip ran that great event there last year. It was so much fun. The fishing was amazing in it too, with whites and sails. It didn't count in that one, and we saw 3 blue ones, 2 one day and 1 the last day. We actually got a good piece of the daily there. That third day too, it does like a double daily deal on that third day, which pays real well. That helped a bunch. But
I think he's still honoring that $1 million grander.
Until it happens. It doesn't have to be in a tournament either. If
staying from Walker's, leaving and coming back same day.
Yep, absolutely.
Might as well just
somebody will do it eventually.
Sit there all year and just do that.
Yep, no doubt. I bet I would think the odds are probably better that you can make that $1 million than go win the White Marlin Open. If you putting similar amount of time in or whatever, I bet the odds are better that you could make it happen there.
I'm sure if you put the time in, I mean, I'm sure you'll at least see the right one.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. They weighed a 700 and change there in the first of Skip's events.
Yeah.
This year, pretty damn good one.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah, it's you say it is, but then you say that 250 more pounds on a 700.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
No
it's a big difference. But hey, it's a start in the right direction.
Exactly. And there's certainly been granders caught up that way, a few anyway.
Yeah.
That's not really my world at all. If you can't catch them stand up, I don't really want to play with them. I like doing the stand up stuff. Yeah. At least I like watching the guys do it. I hardly ever get a rod in my hand anymore.
Yeah.
When's the last time you caught a fish? Actually, physically had a rod in your hand, caught a fish?
Recent when I was fishing with these guys on the Sailfin. Yeah.
There you go.
Caught a
How many did you miss?
I missed a couple. I remember I got cocky on a flatline fish that I spotted a tailor. I threw a bait at it, hooked it. I was like, I got him. Jumped him off.
Right away. Gone.
Right away. I was like, gone.
Yep. It's I don't know. I can't remember the last sailfish I caught. Probably in one of the meat fish terms. That's the only time I really get to put a rod in my hands. But J hooks. So those guys don't get to. As far as they're concerned, I'll never miss one on the circle hook because they're never going to see me. Circle hook in my hand.
Are you doing the Jamie's tournament this weekend?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We're here. It's fun. We my mate Jimmy's son he's been a top junior angler. Other than last year, obviously we missed May for being over there in the Bahamas, but he's been a top junior angler in those events for the last few years. And the guys bring their sons along, and they're all juniors now. We have no peewees left, so it's it's a really good experience for the young guys to get involved in it. If you don't do well, it doesn't cost you that much money, so it's okay.
Yeah.
And just bruises your ego a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess that fishing this past weekend was pretty good for those meat fish.
Epic. Yeah,
oh my gosh, those guys were wearing them out.
Yeah, but again, you get every one of them coming back to the dock talking about the sharks that were eating them up. So.
Oh wow!
And how that many boats up there hooking that many big fish and getting them eaten, it's got to have some effect.
Yeah.
On the stock of the fish, but they're still catching them, so I guess it's okay. Though our king fishery isn't at all the same as it used to be down here, so maybe it's having an effect. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, looks like you have a slicker for the tournament this weekend.
Oh, terrible, terrible. May, you don't expect that in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm not a slow troll guy. I don't
put the planers out.
No, well, actually, we've been playing with that a little bit. It's amazing how much that fishery has changed, right?
Dude, I mean, you don't see anybody in Miami doing it, but if you go fish out of Pompano, there's 1,000 boats planer fishing.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of guys in Miami doing it. You start looking at Instagram and see who's weighing or showing a bunch of wahoos, bigger wahoos. Any wahoos, those guys are doing it.
Yeah. No, there's a couple of guys doing it, but not the Pompano fleet. They have it on lock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, it's insane. On the weekends around the moon, it gets tricky. You can run somebody over out here. Covered up.
The wahoos don't stand a chance. Yeah. No, they catch them.
The crazy thing, dude, is how many of them are there if that many of them are getting caught. And the very next day, or more of them are getting caught.
Oh, they're mowing them.
Oh, yeah.
Those things are solid.
That's the crazy thing. I had a charter. We ran down to Haulover. It was so bad out front. We knew we had a little wind in the morning. We caught some fish, whatever. We knew it was going to die out midday. It was, I think it was January. We brought the planer gear with us just to see. Dude, the planer wasn't in the water. We didn't get the second one in the water yet. First one gets set, it trips. He's on there, wahoo. And the wind came back up and said, all right, well, let's go back to kite fishing. But I don't know. It was literally less than 30 seconds. You got that first planer in the water, bent over, caught a little wahoo on the thing. And so they're down there too. It would work.
Yeah, I know we did it. We did it a handful of times when we're mahi fishing, when you find a floater and you
mow them there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would work on the edge down there too. I'm sure of it. Especially, dude, there's so down there around Triumph and all that stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't do it when lobster pots are out there. You snag the shit out of those things. But although that said, I wonder.
Yeah,
a lot of gear. I bet them wahoos stack up on those pot lines and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
wouldn't that want to raise tricks? You tie to one of those things and wait till the sails come attack you.
Yeah, that's one of them.
No doubt.
That's JC's trick at conch. Tie to the lobster ball conch and
let her rip.
Let her rip.
What a cool spot that is.
Yeah, that is.
That was actually our JJ spot. That's where we won that Jimmy Johnson tournament. Was down at Alligator on day 1 and conch on day 2.
Yeah, man. Conch is. I feel like the last couple of years it's kind of been a little slower than what it used to be, but man, I mean, with JC, we've done well there. When we came in second, the JJ, that's where we were. Yeah. It's a good little honey hole.
That's one you hadn't gotten quite yet, isn't it?
No.
Shocking.
No. I seem to run, I'd say last year.
Go right.
Yeah. I say I typically run in the complete wrong direction in that tournament for some reason. But I think last year we started off in the right area when all those fish were getting caught off Boynton, but we just couldn't get a bite.
Yeah. That was weird. Last year, well, dude, 8 fish wins the thing, right? Or was it 7? Something like that. Something silly. That's
no. I'm talking when the
year before last when it went nuts. Yeah. That was man. That was epic. Yeah. It was
epic for everyone else.
Weird how that can happen. Yeah.
That was good fishing though.
Yeah. We started there in Boynton on that one, and then jumped to Jupiter, fished up there, not quite to the fence for the second half of that day, and then started there on the second day, and then came back to the flat tops there. I mean, everywhere we went, we were getting bit, and it was just that was a crazy year. That was one of those years where you couldn't go wrong, and you still kicked our ass in the in the thing'em, the jackets.
Oh man,
that's the one scourge. That's one thing I have not won yet. We've got 3 second places, a 3rd place, and like a 4th or 5th in that thing, and still can't win those damn jackets. Oh, you got 3 or 4 of them now?
3. Yeah, yours is coming, man. Yours is coming.
To be honest with you, I enjoy chasing it. I hope it happens, but I so thoroughly enjoy chasing that thing.
I mean, I know me and you spoke earlier this year, and we're like, all right, let's plan the pod right after. It's gonna be this is your year.
Whoops! We fell apart in that second event there. Didn't do near well enough there. Which again, though, the challenge was slow.
Yeah. And fucking. I mean, Quentin just put on a clinic in the last one.
And that's a crazy thing. He struggled on day 2. What,
Dude,
he like 17 or 19?
Yeah. No, yeah. 19 or something.
Yeah, silly. God, he did. He smoked the show there.
Look at that area that hasn't really produced fish in years, and that area lit up from all over to Lauderdale. I mean, that's like dead man's zone.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's a crazy thing. On day 1 there, I caught the majority of my fish on that Dania outfall. When I got back in on the second morning, we had 2 bites pretty quick, and then shit's going nuts just south of me. So
you saw, I ran up there. Set up just below you. I fished for.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I stopped. I ran up there. I fished for 10 minutes. I go, I hate this area. We ran all the way back.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I saw you. Yeah, I did see you at one point there. I had left and come back to haul over at that point there.
Yeah. I was there for 10 minutes. I was like, I fucking hate this area.
I can't do it. Yeah, well, you banged them up there late in the day on the second day there around the wrecks, right? County wrecks. And it never happened again on the second day.
Yeah, man, we got it there. That first day, it got really good. Everyone kind of left, and we got in a little rhythm there, and man, it got good. We missed a handful of fish too. And then the second day, that's why I ran back there. I thought I was going to light up again there, but I mean, and it looked sick. It looked like you could have caught, 15.
A pile.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the weird thing too. Is how frequently it seemed like to me when you're missing a few fish, the fish are feeding weird or whatever, and it's going to happen. A bunch of them get wrapped up and whatever. But then you talk to some of the other guys in that event. We had a bunch of them get wrapped up and missed a pile on that first day, especially. And then, we were 18 for 19 or whatever. We were perfect. We were 19 for what?
Isn't it weird? Sometimes you go 15 for 15 someday, and then the one day it's just like a day where you just wrap them up all the time.
Constantly, every one of them wrapped up. And you're looking at the thing, the bait is hung perfect straight up and down, and then you see them swimming off and the bait's dragging 10 feet behind. How does that happen?
The bait's twirling behind their head. Like, what do you want to do? I don't know. Your guess is good as mine.
Come tight, see what happens. Hopefully it gets wrapped up, and then you don't chafe them off. That's so frustrating. I don't even say it anymore. I used to say, we're fucked.
Yeah.
He's swimming off. I see the bait dragging. Yeah. But then sometimes it works. Sometimes they hook the damn things.
Yeah, sometimes they snag them somehow.
Yep, with a circle hook.
Yeah. Oh, fuck,
yep.
man.
Oh well.
That's the worst sight. Then you look and you're like, "Has he got it?" It's dragging behind him.
Yep. Yeah, we've had a couple of times where there were multiple fish in the situation, and one of them's dragging behind it, and the other one's chasing, trying to catch the damn thing. I just stop. Don't do anything. One of them might get hooked, and I swear a couple of times we've had that second fish be able to get on there, and there'll be chafe all up in the leader, but then you got the fish hooked in the corner of the mouth.
Yeah.
So maybe that second one got it and pulled it out of the other one or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or it just works. Who knows? It slides and gets right.
I know that tournament too. The first day when we caught them decent. Like you said, I was seeing tailors and
never got a bite.
50 feet of water though. Like
yep.
Crystal clear, 3 2s and 3s just cooking south and couldn't get a bite out of them.
Not a one. I did not get a single bite on a tailor or a free jumper in that event. It was all pop-up bites. And we got denied on, I bet, a dozen fish that day that blacked out looping baits.
Yeah.
And swam away, which that just made no sense to me at all. You can't go much lighter than we're going already. And
yeah. And the only thing that really, I don't know. The only thing I kept asking myself was if those fish would have ate ballyhoo.
Apparently that Keys guy there, the still right guys, they were fishing them.
Yeah.
And suppose they got a pile of bites on them, which again, though, God, you cultivate what we carry with us.
Yeah.
To try to add that to the mix. Oh, God. But
it's just so stupid. It's like, how's this thing not going to eat a sardine, just a giant sardine just right over its head?
Yeah. And they black out and they loop
black out and it keeps swimming. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But dude, you say that though, and how many times have you thrown ballyhoos at fish in showers and stuff that they so they'll deny a ballyhoo as much as they'll deny anything. I think it's just you get in front of the fish at the right time when the fish is literally looking to feed, and you get them. And if they're not, then they tell you to suck a dick and swim on. Yeah,
I mean, sometimes they just, I don't know. It's like a zone. When they get into a certain zone, they eat in that zone and then shut off in the other zone.
Quite strange. But that's part of figuring it out. Part of the fun of it all.
Part of it.
Clearly, in Final Sail, Quentin figured that shit out because
fuck, dude.
That was a show. That was a hell of a show. A great way to win that jacket too, because dude, Jordan's boat was. Yeah. I mean, they were steady both days.
Yeah. They had great days of fishing.
2 stellar days. Yep. That was well contested there. That was fun to
Well,
watch.
I think it's hard to beat anybody when you hook 2 5-bangers and catch all 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt. That's
2
encounters to turn into 10 fish is special, and that's how I always play it with the guys. Is it's how many encounters we get. An encounter may be 1 fish. Well, it may be a quad or better, and we better take advantage of every one of those encounters to the best of our ability, because there may only be 3 encounters. Well, 3 encounters might be 12 fish. Yeah. If you're really, really lucky.
Yeah. Well, and that tournament too for us is we had not enough encounters to win by any means, but we had enough encounters to do something. And I think they were all singles except maybe 1 double. Like, wow. Yeah. I mean, just the most singles. I mean, it's just single. It just, you kept thinking you're going to get that second or third fish, and I don't know.
Dude, Nick, we had 3 encounters that were doubles, not a bite yet. 3 times, fish blackout. Oh, right short, left long, left middle, right middle, not a bite. So frustrating.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it's like missing them is one thing, but then having them black out and not eat that's a whole nother frustration.
Yep. Brutal. And he says it makes you question everything you're doing, but then you go back and the vast majority of them bite. Just occasionally, they really, really hurt your feelings. and those things stick in your memory for sure.
They love to do that.
Yep, no doubt.
Damn.
Oy, looking forward to next year already, and this year's just barely over.
Yeah, right.
How could a silly little fish like a sailfish be that exciting and special? And it just is.
It just is, man. It's crazy.
Part of it's a competition level, I guess, right? Because
yeah. I mean, there's just so much competition now, and a lot of good guys, and
pretty good bit of money, and
good money. But even though I still think we still need we still need a bigger money tournament down here. I think. Yeah. I mean, I think Jamie does a good job. I think the JJ could be a little bigger payout. I think, but I don't know. We're getting there.
Yeah, no doubt. What I love about Jamie's tournaments is, dude, it's $15,000. It's a lot of money, but it ain't when you 30. Look at a lot of the other events and the amount that the payout is. 15 with the likelihood of winning 250 when you win the thing. That's strong. That's real strong.
Absolutely.
And then the whole show that is the Jimmy Johnson, I so thoroughly enjoy that event. Is the the nightlife thing or whatever. That's not something at my age we do a whole bunch, but then take the family and the wife and the guys, and of course having won the thing, they give us that little pavilion that we get to hang out in and feel special for a night.
Yeah.
That adds to the fun for sure.
So what's one day we always ask somebody or our guest is one day, it doesn't have to be a tournament, it could be a tournament, just one day that stands out to you that, man, just sticks in your mind that you're just like, all right, it's why you do it, or just fires you up when you think about it, or just one day.
Yep. I listened to y'all's podcast. I remember I should have been more prepared. I don't know how I wasn't, but
I know there's a bunch of days like that, I'm sure, but there's got to be one that, or I mean, sure there's a few, but there's got to be one that.
There's a bunch. There was one that the resilience thing has always been a big part of what I coach into my guys, and especially in the sailfish stuff. You come back so quick with a few multiples, but had early on in the meat fish stuff, we had a couple of guys that would get down in a hurry. If in the first couple of drifts you're not killing it, then it's over. Whatever, we're done. Lay down and give up. Might as well. Well, there was a Palm Beach tournament when we were really in a run of just murdering it. Meat fish tournament. The morning I ran to the north up there around Loran Tower in these shallow bottom stuff, hunting a real big fish, and it was just dead. The day before there were fish all over the place in there. So half the day or almost 3/4 of the day goes by, and we're getting, of course, telephone reports, which with meat fish, you can cut them by about a third most of the time. The excitement, people overestimate the size of their fish, but we're hearing some amazing numbers of fish that were in these people's boats. And so I'm making my progressions as checking pieces of bottom, working my way back south, and the guys were kind of giving up. And I saw a decent fish air out in the shallow piece of bottom off of Jupiter, and we make a pass through there, and literally we had like a 20-pounder or something to boat, and there's guys talking there at 140 plus pounds in 4 kings, and it's just insane. And that first pass through there, we caught 2 40s and more 30s than you'd ever thought. It was all 9 kite baits go down to giants, several flat lines, and then one lonely dolphin's out there jumping around that ate a flatline bait or one of the deep baits or something.
Wow.
So we got like 30 minutes left in the tournament. We make another pass through there and catch another giant and end up winning that event. So, and I'd always coached them up. Listen, it's a drift or two or, an hour and we can come back winning the event. Well, that time the two guys, I'll never give up again. That was epic. So that's always been my thing. And that day really solidified how important it is. Just keep grinding. If it's in a meat fish tournament, it could be one real big fish that makes it a tournament special, or one drift that you do enough. And in the sailfish stuff, one good decision. I say it all the time, one good decision, and we're going to start getting bit. We'll get in the rhythm and you're right back in it. And that's like you were saying earlier, you go from, had a guy this year say in the Jimmy Johnson, I don't remember who it was. Somebody caught 5 right up front of Lake Worth Inlet there pretty early on day one. Oh, man, we're in a hole now. We dug a hole. We haven't caught fish yet. Well, in the last hour and a half, 2 hours of event or whatever, we get 5 or 6 bites and lose one to a shark that would have tied us for the daily there on day one. And we catch 4 there. And at the end of the day, I got to ask them, what hole? There's never a hole. There's just never a hole. So there's a whole bunch of days like that. And all those.
Man. It's just crazy how, like you said, how quick you could just turn your day around, man. It really is special,
Which makes it that much more frustrating when, for some reason, it doesn't turn around when you're like, all day long, man.
Or you're just like, it's going to turn around any second, guys.
And then all of a sudden you start to wonder, damn, am I that bad? I can't make a good decision to make something happen here.
Oh, and they're just, everyone's just catching them all around you. Oh, gosh.
Yep. How does that happen? I'll never figure that one out, I guess. But
dude.
The only person that I know that can go negative and be angry about it and it works out is Louie. You'd be on the phone with him and he's just pissed. I mean, angry that these things won't bite. I got to go the other way. I got to go positive. Oh, it's all right. We got this. He just gets pissed. It's just steaming. And then they start fighting for him.
You could see the fumes coming out of the tower.
Yeah, he just can't believe that these jackass fish won't bite for him. And he starts yelling at them and they listen. They start biting for him. Doesn't work that way for me. I've tried it. I got to stay positive.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep. So I got to know, you've talked about it a lot, fishing with Ray early on there. You feel like your tactics and stuff, you picked a lot of them, and then obviously you're going to mold them and make them your own. But you feel like that's where you got a lot of your sail fishing style from?
Yeah, Ray. And then, a name that, people don't hear much, but, I fish a lot, working for Ray is from Brett Wilson, because I charter fished with him probably the most of working on the Brit. I probably fished with him the most. Gotcha. And then I did, we fished a handful of tournaments together. Brett's a fucking badass fisherman. And then, I've fished a bunch of tournaments with Ray, and then, Jeffrey Lederman too, Jeff,
I've never fished with Jeff. I'd like to.
Jeff knows his shit, man. Jeff, he's
a smart ass too, isn't he?
He's a smart ass, and that guy could catch some fish.
Yep. That's the one thing, doing it the way I did. I haven't had the opportunity to fish with a lot of guys. I was in the tower with Louie and Joe Turner down there when we shot that Wild Bills thing 100 years ago. We did this final gathering. We were down there in Key West, and Joe brought the edge down, and we were in the tower hunting mahis, sight fishing mahis. Sun was setting, and that was as much fun, I think, as I've ever had sight fishing anything. And on top of that edge, it was one of my earlier experiences in a taller tower, and we're casting on mahis. I'm sitting there thinking we're catching these little peanuts, but I'm having a blast doing it. And we get down there, we get some 15, 18, 20 pounders. And shit, these things are a little bigger than I thought. It's amazing the difference in perspective. But we had a game going, and it wasn't really talked about, but they were under these little white birds, and it didn't count until you had to actually physically, all right, 2:00, whatever. It got stretched out to where it was almost 100 yards out. We were starting to see these things, seeing who could see them first, So that actually was a day that I will remember forever. As the game was never even discussed. It was Joe was in the middle and I was on the left and Louie was on the right. Who can find him first? Yeah. And it was Joe Turner's got every bit as good eyes as Louie or myself or anything. He was pulling them as quick as we were, but it was funny how it kept stretching further and further out. And Jeff used to run the roofer's boat there. Jeff Scott was down on the deck and he started screaming up at us at one point, calling us assholes and jackasses and all kinds of other stuff. Well, apparently we somehow missed a cobia, swam right down the side of the boat, and he's standing in the pit. Hey, you want to catch that one too? Or so we're stretching it out so far out there trying to find him before everybody that we're missing shit swim right down the side of the boat. That was a great day. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I remember, fishing with Louie and I remember fishing with him in rain and just that guy just relentless, just looking through the rain to find fish. And I was like, gosh.
He goes hard.
Yeah, man.
Such a good dude. Such a good dude. He's actually become a real good friend here the last few years. I think quite highly of him outside of the fishing world.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a great guy and he fucking knows his shit, man.
He does. And it gives me hope too, because he's got a few years. Well, I got a bunch of years on you and he's got a few years on me. So I figure if he's still going that hard, I got a few years yet. I can still go.
I'm always happy. Like, even if like I don't do good in a tournament, but if like I suck by Louie, it's like, all right, I did all right.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was in the right area, but the vacuum cleaner just got them all.
Exactly. He slurped
There's
them
nothing
up.
I could do, guys.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the thing, frequently, you communicate. Lou's one of the guys I communicate with during the tournaments a bit, and I don't want to be fishing that close to him, though. Like, I'm glad to know what you're doing over there, and you're getting bit, but I don't really think I want to get that close. I'm going to go do my own thing over here somewhere and hopefully find success, because I'm not going to let you suck up every fish around me and I don't get a bite, which seems to happen a lot.
For some reason, me and Louie always, for some reason, I feel like we're always next to each other.
Oh, God. Well, it seems to work for you. Don't change. It's working just fine for you.
I was just making it feels like I'm in the right spot if he's near me.
There you go. No doubt. Yeah. One of the first time I ever fished near him, we were at Conch 33 was just built. First one they'd ever built. We're down there south of Fowey. And we're pecking away at him. We're getting a few bites here and there. He pulls up just inshore me, hooks a triple immediately, catches all three, and then hauls ass and runs away. I mean, we're still catching a few here, but why'd you have to go and do that?
That's the worst.
Yep.
Stop, catch him, keep going. You're like, what the fuck just happened?
Why am I staying here?
Why is he go? Where's he going?
Yeah, no doubt. He probably won that tournament. I don't even remember what event it was, but
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, it was a fun one though. That and another fond memory, sort of. Early on, I was in my 32 CV with the no T-top deal, and it was one of those epic, just ridiculous bites. It had to be the Mayor's Cup, I think, or I don't know, but it was a light northerly. The fish were really, really overcast. I think they were up, but again, I'm in the no T-top boat, so I'm not seeing them if they're tailing. But as fast as you get to spread out, you're getting bit. And he and I were fishing together there around Triumph. We hook a quad. He hooks however many he had tight. And several of my fish go under his boat and out the other side. And a couple are his, and we're just all crossed up. And he was fishing that wound up boat at the time. I'm drawing a blank on the dude's name that owned the thing. Also no longer with us. But he hollers up to him, just go back through him. And, whatever. I'm respecting his lines and he's respecting mine, and we're not. But that dude says, no, we got this. And somehow worked it all out, and they caught what they caught, and we caught what we caught out of the deal there. He's got some ethics too, clearly.
He does.
That, can't be said for everybody that does what we do.
I got a good question. It might be a new question for the Sailfish guys. If you had to pick one spot from Loran Tower to Ocean Reef, and you had to fish a one-day tournament, and you had to pick that spot and not move, where are you going?
What time of year? And where's the wind blowing from?
Let's go east wind. You can't pre-fish. You just got to pick a day. Just pick a spot. And
today,
what's
8 years ago, I'd be at Triumph. 8 years ago, Triumph, no doubt about it. But today, probably Boynton Inlet.
I knew.
On an outbound tide, catch that tide line at Boynton Inlet, and you're gonna catch them. It may be a great day, it may be a slow day, but you're gonna catch some there.
Yeah,
most days.
I like it.
Yeah. As long as you got current.
Yeah.
But then, for a while there, southwest wind, I'm fishing Pacific if there's current, or Ocean Reef or something like that. It was it was clockwork, dude. We won a bunch of money in tournaments begging for a helium day off the southwest. So consistent. And then when that wind would go ahead and roll on around, we'd haul ass as quick as we could to get to county recs. And I love that was back in, again, in Tony's tournaments back then.
Yeah.
It seemed to happen several years in a row that we got to do that. We won that Sailfish Challenge that he ran, and that Mayor's Cup on conditions comparable to that, and won some dailies, and that was fun fishing back then.
Yeah. I know.
I don't want to see him there anymore.
Yeah.
Miami tournaments in January.
Yeah,
please no.
Yeah, please no. I know a few weeks ago we had on the Seraphim, it was like a death. It was a cup day for them. They thought the wind was going to blow. It ended up being like a slicker of slickers. Helium barely flying, miserable, but I think we managed to go like 11 for 18.
Wow.
A no wind.
Black calm.
flat calm. I mean, and just part of the reason why we probably wrap so many just because the shit's laying in the water.
Yeah.
But it was
that's tough.
some sick.
That's epic fishing. That's fun.
For slick. Like slick calm, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But we had a few days like that charter fishing where they're the typical April bite there around the sea buoy up through the diamonds and Anchorage and all that on those slick calm days with charters. And you're going to talk about a mess, getting shit wrapped up. And we had a fish jump over the kite line that was draped down, hooked the fish on the right middle, jump right over the kite line on the left side. It's a total debacle. But adds to the fun. And my mates said, no, you got to go over. The guy's trying to, like, everything. Stay under. Oh, what a mess. That was fun, though. Very fun. What about you? Where's your spot? Same condition, east wind?
Man, well, typically I would probably say Triumph. I feel like Triumph's been a little slower
last few years
for some reason. And I love Ocean Reef. I love to say Ocean Reef as well, man. It's been pretty good.
In the spring for sure, no doubt about it. It's a fun spot to fish. Used to be, I mean,
look at
January.
But look at Still Right won this year, November or December.
Yeah. I tell you what, I ran a boat to Islamorada that it was slick ass calm. I think it was the first day of that tournament, that December tournament, and it looked amazing at Ocean Reef. And I think he was the only boat I saw there. I was shocked.
No, I've killed myself. I'm like, why the fuck wasn't I there? Like, what was I thinking? I'm like, oh, this time of year, it's risky. Fucking Still Right's down there mowing them,
mowing them down.
Gosh, damn.
Dude, I took more videos of fish and showers that day running slick class calm. I ran that old black liquid boat down to Islamorada. The dude that owns it has a house there. Giant pods of sardines and cigars and shit just everywhere. Stuff you can't find when you need them or in a tournament ever. And it was epic. Well out of y'all's boundary all the way to Islamorada. I videoed a few of them just swimming around in there in the bait. Epic. Yeah, but of course, no rods on the boat or anything, and just delivering a boat.
Yeah, they're all just dancing around.
Oh yeah, sticking their finger up at you. You can't get me today.
Yeah,
but I enjoy seeing it for sure.
That's a good sight.
Yeah,
cool, man. That was pretty exciting. Good stuff.
Yep. Fun chatting with you, my friend.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
Are we done?
I know. Anthony was bummed out. He couldn't be on here today. He's like, damn. I heard Art on some other podcast. I know how awesome of a talker he is.
I don't know how good a talker I am, but I get excited about fishing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I love this aspect of what we're doing now. It adds to the camaraderie. It kind of links people up that wouldn't normally get to chat that are in this fishing world. It's making a giant fishing world that much smaller. Y'all are doing a real cool thing here. It surprised me because you hadn't always been such a big talker, but you do a great job on this thing, man.
Shit, dude. I used to be a horrible talker. I still don't think I'm that good, but I've definitely come a long way.
You're doing a good job, dude, for sure. I've thoroughly enjoyed y'all's. I was listening to the Flats dude on here today while I'm rigging rods and getting ready for this meat tournament this weekend.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, good dude.
It's funny that these guys always they have like the video of when it was a Sailfish Pro Series. Remember that?
Oh yeah, very well. Yeah, I never got to fish that thing.
So it was Key West, the World Sailfish one year, and we won a daily, and I think everybody fished like to the west, and we were the only boat that ran up to the east, and we got lucky. Just slow fishing, caught a handful. One in daily, which back then winning a daily was a good chunk of change. And I remember they came down to the dock and they interviewed me, and these guys still have the clip, and we'll be fishing, and like somebody will connect to the Bluetooth and they'll play my I said over the JL audio system, and it's fucking it's comical. I mean, it's like I can't talk. I mean, you'd think something's wrong with me. I must have said conditions 18 times and a sentence that was 10 seconds long.
Oh God.
Oh,
we live and we learn.
It was embarrassing.
Now look at you, a professional podcaster.
Getting there.
Yeah. No, y'all are doing a great job. It's a good thing, dude. I love it. We just did a part 2 with Ross. I don't know if you heard him, but he's a good guy, man. He's a good guy, and it's good talking to him, man. He's got some funny terms, bro. That Australian slang is good, man. Yeah, no doubt. And I heard you talking with with Chip Sheehan there and
Chip,
the
Chip
lingo. He's got a good idea. Chip's nuts, dude. He's a great guy.
Chip's
Been
got
bouncing
some
off him
ones.
forever. But like he says, the fishing lingo is ridiculous, and how many words and terms it can mean so many different things. And yeah. But I tell him I got one for him. I'm a Cyndi Lauper fan. I don't know what it is. As a kid, she was a goddess.
Yeah.
48 years old or whatever. So free jumpers or floppers are Cindy's. Cindy floppers.
Cyndi
So
Floppers.
we can add that one to his book. Yep, Cindy Flopper. Hey, Cindy. Where the hell's Cindy? And Cindy don't jump anymore. The damn sharks are scared Cindy away.
That's good. I don't know. Chip's going to write that one down.
Yeah, he needs to. No doubt. Somebody got to write that book and actually make a rules page to y'all's game.
Yeah, right.
We fished that day in Jupiter. We had a pretty good day. Saw that white shark and caught 21 and had Chip and Tim and them all, and they were playing that game. And I'm not the literal or literary guy. I can't come up with a sentence like that to save my life, but it was fun listening to them do it.
Yeah.
That's a good game y'all got.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Me and JC kind of been doing it for a while. Just between me and JC, we never really thought anything of it. And then it's funny, like Kyle and Chip and all these guys start doing it, and now it's like a thing now.
It's a thing. It's a thing. There's no doubt about it. It's a thing.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I've got a friend. I can't say she's writing this book, but it's going to be a really cool coffee table book when she does it. Similar to that game y'all play, but a little different. I can't go beyond that. But
all right, top secret.
Yep, top secret. She'd be real
all
mad
right.
if I did.
Well, we'll get you on here soon. We'll get you on before season gets going. We'll get you and Chip
Looking
on.
forward to it. There you go. Yeah, no doubt. That might be fun.
Yeah,
real fun. Yeah, he's got a cool new rig. I would imagine we'll be seeing him fishing some of that Bahamas stuff in the near future.
Yeah, I think so.
They're in the yard pretty soon to do some of that stuff too, the sonar and all that.
Yeah,
that's interesting. That boat he's running now it used to be the waterproof there. Real good friend Mario ran.
Yeah.
Mario. You know Mario?
Yeah. Mario's
great dude.
That guy's a trip.
Yeah, he is. Great dude. Phenomenal guy for a Canadian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a joke, Canadian people that might be listening to this thing.
Yeah. Chip's gonna change. I tell Chip he's got to change the name of that boat to Superstition.
Oh yeah, he's got some superstitions, huh?
That guy.
You ought to put a Yamaha sticker on the transom. That thing, a 425 Yamaha sticker on the transom.
Oh, he'll freak out.
He'll freak out.
Oh, you got to have the Seakeeper off, Nick. They don't like the Seakeeper. I'm like, what?
Oh God, I fished a boat with a Seakeeper in a real ocean for the first time the other day. I think I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to get a Seakeeper in my Nick CV I built. That thing is incredible.
They are incredible, man.
Yep. I think as much as anything, it kind of locks you up to where you're not. You can probably see better without your head moving, your whole body moving all over the place like it does.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, as much as you're on the water, man, it makes your day just makes it a little nicer.
Yeah. I got just enough age on me now too that anything that makes it a little more comfortable is a good thing.
Oh, dude,
especially still playing in these small boats.
Yeah, I'm at a point where I'm like, if it doesn't have a Seakeeper, I don't want to be on it.
So I guess that means you're putting one on the new boat?
Oh, they're already in.
Nice. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the new tournament boat.
Oh, I'm pulling for it. Let's say that.
Yep, that technology you get so good.
If not in this one, then the next one.
There you go. How far along are they with that build on your new 31?
I mean, in beginning stages, it's just laying up the hole and stuff. Yeah, there's tons of time.
Plenty of time. I'll be interested to see what you do with the bait wells.
Yep, we got some work to do there. But I think Scotty's gonna help us out, I think. Yeah, I think we're gonna get creative. I'm kind of excited for it. It'll be cool.
No doubt. I'm excited to see the boat too. It's like I said, I love the center console fishing. That's what I've always done. I mean, the big boats are fun and all, but be interesting to see more ideas getting poured into the industry in them. Yeah,
no, I'm excited. And those guys are super, super cool, and letting me design a lot of that bait well stuff. So hopefully we'll get it dialed in.
No doubt. Oh, I'm sure. I got no doubt. No doubt in my mind. Y'all get it figured out. Good Southern boys, dude. They're always fun to hang around.
Yeah, man. They're
some shit too.
Yeah, they're really good dudes, man, and they're hungry, man. They're hungry to, dive into the market and show them what they could do. Oh
yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously the market is strong.
Yeah.
These guys that are building center consoles are years out now.
It's crazy.
I think they'll be very successful. I think they already are successful. They're building boats steady, right?
Oh yeah, they're already. I think I don't even know anymore. 19 months out on a 39 or something.
Nice, very nice.
Oh, doing well.
That's. I think it's a good thing. There's plenty of room in the market.
Yeah.
One of the cool things I think Bun did with his tournaments there was kind of developed a relationship between Contender and CV there with their, they're both sponsoring the Sailfish events now. But I think there is so much room in this industry that we can all be friends and potentially do real well together with this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm all for the camaraderie into this world we're in. Now the dogs are going nuts. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
All right, Cap. Well, I appreciate it, man. It was fun. I think there'll be a crowd favorite.
We'll see.